Brother Mike and Sister Tilla, and they are representing Adam and Eve. All right, very, very beginning.
Speak into the mic.
Yes, ma'am. Good to be here, good to be seen, good to see you all. Blessings. I would just like to start off because this is the beginning. God had already created the heavens and the earth. And he decided to throw a little curveball in it. You know, God has a sense of humor, but there's consequences. God don't, he doesn't ask us to do anything without any consequences. And it really goes down to obedience and disobedience. Just, as I look at all the children that we have here now, and your parents tell you something, and I understand, you think you can do it your way, but it's not necessarily so. They're giving you guidance and advice for a reason, because they've been there, they've learned the hard way. Some of us have learned. I know I've learned the hard way. And so, I'm gonna just jump into Genesis, first chapter, 31st verse. 31st verse. And God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. And the evening and the morning were the sixth day. Chapter 2, verse 1. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the host of them. And on the seventh day, God ended his work, which he had made, and he rested on that seventh day from all his work which he had made. And God, being pleased on the seventh day, and he sanctified it, because that in it he had rested from all work which God had made, or created and made. And it's, in this day and age, we have people who are essential workers that must work on Sundays, or the Sabbath, the Jewish Sabbath day. It's just the way life is. Now, yeah, you can call this a little bit this is disobedience, because he has already told us. He's given us 7 days to rest. I mean, the seventh day to rest. And God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because that in it he rested from all his work which God created and made. These are the generations of the heavens and of the earth when they were created, in the day that the Lord God made the earth and the heavens. And every plant of the field before it was in the earth, and every herb of the field before it grew. For the Lord God had not caused it to rain upon the earth, and there was not a man to till the ground. So basically, we had this planet, this earth, with all kinds of creatures and insects and sea creatures, creatures of the air, but no one to really have dominion or to take care of it. But there went up a mist from the earth and watered the whole face of the earth. And the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. And man became a living soul. And the Lord God planted a garden eastward in Eden. And there he put the man who he had formed. And out of the ground made the Lord to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight, and good for food, the tree of life also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Now these two trees are, these are like exceptional type things that God wanted in his garden, but he wanted this man that he had just formed, he gave him instructions. Do not eat of that fruit. It's just a simple instruction. When our parents or someone who cares about us tell us, don't eat that, don't pick them berries because them berries are poisonous. It's telling you that for a reason, because we don't want to see you become ill. Well, basically, God is telling him this for a reason. He's like, I don't want to see disobedience, but I don't want to see you suffer the consequences of my command. And I'm commanding you not to touch these two trees for a specific reason. There may come a time, but that time is not yet. Adam is going through an infant phase. Okay, he has just been created, so God is putting some knowledge into him. He's giving him all these animals to name, insects, birds. Creatures that we probably can't even see and or have been extinct, I'm sure, for thousands of years. But the Lord has given dominion to Adam to take care of his creation, which is earth, and all the things that are in it, of it. Yes. Thank you. And the Lord God, this is Genesis 2:18. And the Lord God said, it is not good that the man should be alone. I will make an helpmeet for him. And out of the ground, the Lord God formed every beast of the field and every fowl of the air and brought them unto Adam to see what he would call them. And whatsoever Adam called every living creature, that was the name thereof. Imagine the power to name every creature. And we look at that as insanity right now, but it is tremendous responsibility, which Adam may have not known at that time how much of a responsibility and what it would do. But I'm assuming that we still call some of these animals that are around today the same things that Adam called them. Different languages, of course, but they are what they are because God created them and Adam named them. And he gave Adam permission to name them. Okay, number 20. And Adam gave names to all cattle and to the fowl of the air and to every beast of the field. But for Adam there was not found an helpmeet for him. And the Lord caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept. And he took one of his ribs, closed up his flesh, and the rib which the Lord God had taken from the man, made he a woman, and brought her unto him. And Adam said, this is now bone of my bones, flesh of my flesh, because it literally was. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. And they were both naked, the man and his wife, and were not ashamed. Chapter 3, you want to go? Oh. Might help me.
Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field, which the Lord God had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, has God said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden? And the woman said unto the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, But of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God has said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. And the serpent said unto the woman, You shall not surely die, for God does know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be open, and you shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. And when the women saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise, she took one of the fruit thereof, and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. And the eyes of them both were open, and they knew that they were naked. And they sewed fig leaves together, and made themselves aprons. And they heard the voice of the Lord God walking in the garden in the cool of the day, and Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Lord God among the trees of the garden. And the Lord God called unto Adam and said unto him, Where art thou? And he said, I heard thy voice in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, and I hid myself. And he said, Who told thee that thou was naked? Hast thou eaten of the tree whereof I command thee that thou shouldn't not eat? And the man said, The woman whom thou gavest to me, with me, she gave me of the tree, and I did eat. And the Lord God said unto the woman, What is this that thou hast done? And the woman said, The serpent beguiled me, and I did eat. Just sum it up, and then that's when it's all Chris. Number 14.
As I stated earlier, there are consequences. And unfortunately, this serpent, he just has a way of tempting people to this day. It's the battle, that we go through. As soon as we are born, it seems like there is this battle between the subconscious conscience of doing what's right, knowing what's right, but still doing what's wrong. And I'm sure Adam and Eve had no idea that the decision they made that day was going to be so consequential for generations to come. And, I thank God that Christ sacrificed his son for us, because otherwise we'd be in trouble. If we think we're in trouble now, you have no idea, because now we're saved by grace, and God's mercy is what gives us hope, But I just want to say that, my God, what can we do? I ask myself this every day. I mean, I'm retired. I sit at home, but I watch. Unfortunately, I'm exposed to a lot of news, and what I see going on is just. Sometimes I just the tears come out, because I'm like, this is not what This is not what God had intended for us. I mean, we are drifting further and further away from from God's love, from God's conviction. I mean, there are people who just have it seems like they have no kind of restraints, not only on their words, but some of their actions. I just want to thank you all for listening to us. God bless you.